Hey everyone, this is John Corley of Plant Based Life. Christmas Eve here in Sydney, nice day out. Thought I'd do a quick video, something I've been thinking about a lot. There's a lot of information out there about how often we should eat. It's a very interesting question, you know, because my whole philosophy on eating has changed so much in the last 5 years, and there's so many different philosophies on eating that people get overwhelmed and confused, you know. When I first became a personal trainer, there used to be, you know, tips that would tell you, oh yeah, you've got to graze throughout the day, eat smaller amounts, you know, several times throughout the day. You know, so constantly be eating, grazing, because they said, you know, this is how our ancestors ate, and basically this is how we should eat, right? So, you know, now I've found with other people who did this, you know, as you eat more and more, you actually have more digestion issues, you have more, you know, things like irritable bowel syndrome and different things come up, because the more you eat, the more you've got to digest, right? So it's about quality over quantity when you eat. So, you know, people will say, yeah, but if I don't eat at regular times, I'll get hungry. You're getting hungry because the food you're eating is not nutrient dense. Right? If you eat nutrient dense food, you don't get so hungry, you know. So, but if you eat empty calories, things like, you know, bread, white bread, and well, any bread really, but white bread especially, you know, and you know, white rice and a lot of the junk food that's out there. And if you're eating all that, you know, chips and whatever else, well, it's empty calories, right? There's no real nutritious value in any of that stuff, right? Now, as to how often we should eat, well, I've found out that, you know, less is more, you know. So obviously there's been a big fad in recent years on intermittent fasting, and I do a lot of intermittent fasting. I do a lot of juice feasting, I do extended feasts from eating. I've found it to be really good for me. You know, with intermittent fasting there's different ways to do it. You know, you can do 16 and 8, which means, you know, you eat during an 8-hour window and the other 16 hours you don't eat. So some people, they'll sleep all through the night, they'll fast at about midday, and they'll eat their food a few times between midday and 8 p.m. Then there's other people who bring that down to a smaller window, like a 4-hour window, which is probably around about what I do when I'm eating. I eat within a 4 to 6 hour window roughly, but sometimes I do eat a bit later than I would like because I work long hours, you know. And then I don't do that every day, you know. Some day, you know, I've read other research that says it's better every now and then to basically keep, you know, to still eat. Sorry, Mark, I just got a notice on my phone there. I hope you don't mind. I'm going to keep going with the video. To still eat, you know, on other days, you know, at regular times, just so your metabolism doesn't slow down and things. But there are people out there who do intermittent fasting every day. Now, the reason why it's so beneficial, when you wake up in the morning, your digestive tract, your digestion hasn't woken up. The last thing you need to do is chuck a load of food down on it. That saying, breakfast is the most important meal of the day, it's probably true, but breakfast in its essence means break fast. It doesn't mean you've got to have it in the morning or first thing in the morning. Whenever you break the fast that day, that's your breakfast. So if you break the fast at midday, or you break it at 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. or whenever you break it, then that's your breakfast. And it is an important meal at that stage, but to put a load of food down in the morning when you're not digesting, get up in the morning, have some lemon juice and water, or even a couple of big glasses of water, you know, get your body hydrated, do some movement, do some exercise, earn your food, right? And then when you do eat, get good plant-based sources and nutrition of food, you know? Because if you look back through history, people will say, yeah, you know, with the paleo believers and all that, they say, well, you know, we used to eat, you know, several times a day, used to eat a lot of animal products. Well, even if, you know, there's no way, it's not possible. If you go back to the early ancestors of humans, the women and the children were the gatherers and the men were the hunters. Do you think they were hunting enough animals to be able to eat meat nearly with every meal like they do in the paleo diet? Of course they weren't. Impossible. Lucky probably to get one animal a week to eat, if that. And there would have been large amounts of people, and there's proof of it, that sustained without animal products for periods of time that were plant-based. Now I know everyone would say, no, there's no culture sustained on that. Look into ancient Kemet in Egypt and have a look at what they were eating, all right? And you know, many other places around the world where they're eating predominantly a plant-based diet, you know, so many, you know, so you know, so let's get it, you know, let's get it into perspective, right? But that's not what this is about. Regardless of how you eat, I mean, I prescribe to 100% whole food plant-based, but I'm not here to say how you should eat. But I do believe that eating at certain times within certain windows is very beneficial to allow your body to, you know, really, you know, get rid of old matter and just heal overnight, and then have a break in the morning, and when you do start eating, you can process that food and use it better as energy. You know, there's also studies done, there's people out there who do one meal a day. They actually eat within a 1 hour window, so fast for 23 hours and eat for one meal a day. A lot of athletes are doing this, believe it or not. They eat a lot in that meal, it's a lot of calories. And the reason they do this is because it's been proven to boost your human growth hormone by about 2,000%. Right, that fasting. Because your body goes into a state of repairing its cells when you fast. That's why fasting is so good. And if you're doing it on a regular basis, you're doing a lot of repairing. If you're constantly putting food in, on top of food, on top of food, on top of food, body doesn't have time to repair. Your lymphatic system and your digestive system, everything can't get everything out of you, right? So what happens is a lot of the toxins from the food that you can't digest end up in your bowels, your colon. They end up back in your bloodstream. They go to areas of weakness in your body and they cause inflammation, right? So this is what happens. So you want to, you know, create an alkaline environment in your body. So more alkaline means more plant-based foods, getting things like, you know, lime juice, lemon juice into your diet, you know, with water. You know, lemon juice is really good in the morning, you know, to do that. But lime juice in the morning, a dash of lime juice with sea salt in water, is really good for anyone who's working a lot of hours, really busy, hectic, and are worried about their adrenal glands, because it's been proven to help protect the adrenals from a rush and overflow of activity and what you're doing, you know. So and how to stave off adrenal fatigue, right? So, but look, these are all tips, different tips for different reasons. But this video was about how often should you eat. And I don't think we should be eating anywhere near as often as a lot of people do. And the whole thing about 3 meals a day was brought in with the industrial work revolution, so people could do more work in a day. It wasn't to allow you to eat at particular times and that was the set rule. It's a relatively new thing in human evolution, you know. So really, if you really go back, we weren't eating as often, anywhere near as often as people would like to say we were, right? And yeah, that 3 meals a day is really just a fallacy. It just came in just so you could get more work productivity from staff. That's all that was about. And don't eat till you're completely and utterly full where you can't get up from the table. Eat to about 70–80% fullness. That will help you digest your food better as well. Don't drink fluids with your food. Drink your fluids after, you know, because again, and if you're going to have water-based fruits, I mean, you can have them in a salad because a lot of salads are water-based anyway, a lot of the fruits and vegetables. But if you're having water-based fruits, have them before you eat other substantial foods because they help you set up your digestion and digest your food. These are all just little tips, but you know, how often should we eat? I think the intermittent fasting is a really good thing. A lot of people are doing wonders for their health with this. And there's information all over the web about this way and that way to do it. Just go with what works for you. You know, if the 8-16 works for you, if you want to start off with a smaller window, you know, maybe get up in the morning, don't eat for a couple of hours, and then slowly work yourself into it. Because when you feel hungry, real hunger comes from here, not from here. What comes from here, right, down here, is your microbiome craving certain things that you're feeding it on the regular basis. When you reset that microbiome and get rid of those cravings, you don't feel hungry anymore. That's not hunger. So people need to remember, hunger doesn't come from down here in your stomach. It comes from up here. Alright, so that's why people get thirst and hunger mixed up so often, and they have a glass of water and they don't feel hungry anymore. You know, so yeah, look, as I say, I could talk about it all day, but yeah, intermittent fasting does wonders, you know, and your body can't heal if you don't fast in some shape or form. All right, so you need to bring fasting in. This is why sleep on its own is an amazing thing. Like when you sleep, your cells repair and everything else, and obviously your body's getting the rest that it needs, but you're also fasting. It's another reason why they can do so much repair. Have a think about that, you know, and then you wake up in the morning and load it up with a big plate of food, and then you feel lethargic a few hours later, you can't move. Well, think about it. Have a think about it. Just analyse that. Analyse your body. Become your own doctor. Become the own observer of your own body, and just see how you feel. Leave it for a few hours to eat and have some water-based fruits instead. See how you feel then. See what energy you have. Then have a salad later. You know, give it a go. Have some green smoothies, you know. You know, get some hemp seeds on there for your protein, omega-3s, get some chia seeds, or, you know, whatever you want to throw in. But there's so many options available. You can make a big rainbow salad, eat that in the evening, you know. It's a beautiful way to live, beautiful way to eat, you know. So anyway, peace, movement, and plants.